Hello, my friends again. Revisiting MERP, Middle Earth Role Playing Game. This particular book here is the Character Compendium, Volume 2, the Manish Races. One of the, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, one of the attractions to collecting these things is the depth and of material and reading pleasure I got out of them when they first started coming out. Of all the game systems that were created, this particular one here, next to, well, there was a few others, but this particular one is has a well-established backstory in the novels. J.R.R. Tolkien's world is very detailed, and there's so much going on in it and in the background that, as a reader and an avid lover of all things Lord of the Rings, it always always enjoyed finding new stuff, even if it's not in the actual books itself, or it's been highly expanded upon, if you will, to because it gave me more depth to the story of the world itself. I could reread the novels and have a better perspective of a given location that the group was traveling through, or the situation when somebody talked about something from the ancient past. I actually had a reference. You know, in this particular book is an example of this. Pretty much every human character, every human name of anybody of note in the novels is in here. And Ice went and created a character sheet for them, gave him a more in-depth background. I don't know if a lot of it is ad-libbed or abridged, if you will, or if it's based off of some of Tolkien's notes and then embellished. I think it's a combination thereof. As an example, in this particular book, if you want to know about Aragon or Bolmir or Familiar or any of those, they're here, their stats are here. It's an NPC ready to roll. As I've always said in the past, running a game, being a GM is a challenge, especially when it comes to time management. Having loads of pre-made NPCs that you can tweak slightly and use in your own game is beneficial right there. So it doesn't matter what game system they came from, as long as the stats are compatible or you know how to adjust them on the fly. Another part of this stuff that really uh, intrigued me and brought a lot of informational knowledge to my gaming table is stuff like the depths and the details. So some of the more interesting characters in the Lord of the Rings that everybody, the uber bad guy next to the Sauron himself, was the Nuzgul, the nine ring bearer, or Lords of the Rings, whatever you want to call them. Basically, Sauron's hatchetmen, his elite team of go get them. And what they do in here is they break down all 9 of the individuals, and they give them much more information, much more depth, their history, their backstory, how they became the ring wraith that they are, and what they do, and what they specialize in, and what kingdom they came from, so on and so forth. There's even knowledge that one of them was a female, one of them was a woman, and that was way back in the day. So everybody talks about giving women equal space in gaming today, and I'm all for that. This was one of those examples of what that they were doing that back in the 80s. We just maybe haven't come far enough as far as some people are concerned, and that's for a different subject topic. The excuse me, the Lords of the Middle Earth series, and I've got 3 books. Each one focused on the different groups and races and so forth. This particular one, like I said, is for men, and there's lots of valuable material in it, just for like I said, the NPC value, or being able to read a book and go, I understand better what this person was doing, or the reference to this ancient person and how he played out a big part of what was going on in the books. So it's a matter of taste and perspective, of course. And as always, Ice did a good job of following the Rollmaster tenets for rules, but the adjustments and stuff to carry these over to D&D is fairly simple as far as I'm concerned. And I've made a lot of people, I don't know, they get annoyed or cheesed when I suggest that sort of thing. Sometimes you're just using a bunch of people who are better skilled at using a specific set of rules, and instead of trying to force feed them a new set of rules to stumble over, and if that's not their thing, then using the standard basic that everybody bases a lot of their stuff off of today isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know. And I had a section in here, but I think it's one of the other books that I was going to use as an example. Well, I'm going to use this one because pretty much it translates. The way I always viewed this in the case of stuff and stats was to divide the D100 system by 5. So in this particular character, Castamere, he was a Dunedain back in Gondor's day, when one of the key players of the Kinstripe era, I believe. He has a plus 25 short sword, so we divide that by 5. He has a plus 5 short sword. He has a plus 20 spear. That would be a plus 4 spear. He has a plus 5 dagger. That would be a plus 1 dagger. Not all that tough. So he has a helm of navigation. The helm adds plus 50 to all of the wearer's navigating and orienting maneuvers. It's a plus 10. I mean, not that rough to do. If you really want to go in that same venue, and I'd have to dig in and see. I don't have a calculator handy how the stats translated, but I think it pretty much came out the same way. If the character is level 30 in here, that's based off of their system. You whack it by 5, he's a level 5 character, and you got to get into the min-max crowd with people when they start going on about whether that's considered low level or medium level for gaming. And traditionally speaking, anything between level 4 and 10 is mid-level and the common level, if you will. Most of your NPCs are going to fall into that category. The odds of having a bunch of high-level, walking into a town with a bunch of 10 plus level people, is, well, it should be very low. I mean, I don't know what kind of world you're playing in, so I guess it's a matter of taste. Now, what are you gonna do? Like I said, revisiting this stuff, I enjoy it because I go back and I've been rereading a lot of material that I hadn't read in, I don't know, a long time, and it reminded me why I was so attached to this system when it came out, and why it's still quite playable, right? And if you can get your hands on it, hey, it's great. If you just get a hand on a book or two and you can incorporate it into your existing game system, whatever it is, if nothing else, the characters and the settings and stuff are translatable. So, Volume 2, the Manish Races. And until next time, keep your sword sharp.